The Lowcountry Food Bank believes that cooking matters in our fight to end food insecurity. We bring to you our virtual nutrition education series, Cooking Matters in Our Community.
Welcome. My name is Dana. I'm the Director of Nutrition Initiatives at the Lowcountry Food Bank. To help our neighbors get the food they need, the Lowcountry Food Bank distributes food through a network of food pantries and program partners along the coast of South Carolina. Did you know that we also offer culinary nutrition education with our partners? Why does cooking matter? It can save us money, help us manage our health, and engage our minds and bodies in some good creative fun. Food brings us all together. Let's get back in the kitchen. Whether you've joined us before or this is your first time, we want to stay connected with you. The Nutrition Initiatives team is bringing you short 5 to 10 minute videos with tips, tricks, activities that you can do alone or with a buddy. Now, before you click off this video because cooking is not your thing, cooking's no fun, you're no good at it, or you've done that for years and you are done. Hold that thought. We want to make cooking fun again. Today we are starting with the basics: kitchen safety and knife skills. No matter what age we're working with, these are always the two things we get started with. Yes, even our wee ones get to participate in some chopping in our kitchens. How about our cooks in the house? Our junior chefs, our foodies, we know you're going to want to join us. We'll let you know ahead of time what you need to bring to the prep table so you can participate. We will go over how to stay safe in the kitchen, get everyone involved, and I'm going to give you my 2 tricks to make chopping up vegetables fast and easy. If you want to participate with me today, you'll need a cutting board, a knife, an onion, a washed pepper, and I have my 2 containers so that I'm ready to store my prep veg. To get started in the kitchen, we always set ground rules. We will be respectful of ourselves, the things we're working with, the food we're preparing, and we're going to taste it. We will practice patience and safety, and we're going to have fun. Now that we have our ground rules, let's get started. Our first line of safety is ourselves, and the second is our workspace. We wash our hands to get started anytime we change a task or touch something other than the food we're working with. The same rule goes for your workspace as does for your hands. Anytime you change a task, change a food type, wash your materials, your utensils, especially when working with raw meat. Never let that come into contact with your other foods. And never use a wooden cutting board. That wood's just going to soak up those juices and potentially grow bacteria. If you're going to cut along with me today, now's the time to thoroughly wash your hands. Get out your cutting board, your onion, wash that pepper, get your storage containers, and your knife. I get asked all the time, Dana, what kind of knife should I use? First and foremost, you need a sharp knife. For adults, I generally suggest a chef knife. These are my favorite to work with. You can cut pretty much anything with it and get a good grip on it without knocking your knuckles on the cutting board. Now for our teens, we have these sharp paring knives. They're rounded on the edge, so a little bit safer. For our kids, a strong butter knife works really well. But we actually have these really awesome, they're called lettuce knives. They're sharp enough. Get them in the motion of cutting, and they're only about like $5 at your retail store. Now for our little ones, we have what's called a bench scraper. It's really strong. It doesn't bend. It gets them learning the grip, gaining confidence, and getting involved in the kitchen. Now for this, they generally cutting up something soft like a strawberry, a slice of watermelon, anything that's easy to cut. Now let's get to our knife safety. A safe cutting space is a clean cutting board and a clean workspace. I actually keep a trash can right here, open and ready for all of my waste to be cleared from my cutting board. And I have my containers ready to go, so I can take my prepped veg and put it away right then. Before we get started with the knife, always rest your knife at the top of your cutting board with the blade facing away from you. Never point the knife at someone, and if you're going to walk with it, make sure that it's pointing down by your side. We actually start knife skills before we even pick up the knife. No matter what knife you're using, you want a strong grip, and then you're going to move in a boat rocking motion. This motion comes from your shoulder, your upper body, not your wrist. It's a fun one to do in the kitchen with the kids. Get a little dancing going, a little stress relief. So practice before you get that knife. Now let's talk about that strong grip. I see people all the time bring that finger right on top of the blade. Nope. It's not strong enough. It decreases your strength and makes it a little unsafe. So tuck that finger back away from the blade. Sometimes I even pinch up on the blade a little bit because this is pretty long and that gives me more strength, but make sure that finger is tucked away from the sharp blade. Now the last thing we need to remember before we get to cutting is bring out the claw. The claw has your fingers tucked back away, so you don't chop them off. And then your knuckles are actually where that knife is going to be guided up and down in a straight motion. So your knuckles should be straight up and down so they don't slip and cut your little fingers. Now another way to hold your food, if it gets too small or even for your little kiddos, is what we call the tunnel. So you would hold like a strawberry or a lemon, an apple slice, and then the knife would come straight down the middle of that tunnel. So it's a really good one for little kids to keep themselves safe, but you want to make sure you're going straight down the middle of that tunnel, not slipping and getting your fingers. We are now ready to start cutting and to learn my 2 kitchen tricks. We're going to learn how to cut an onion and a pepper in as few cuts as possible. The trick with an onion, fewer cuts, less tears. So let's start with that onion. I'm actually not going to take the skin off of the onion until I make my second cut. All right, so you get your claw. Now, the first cut we ever want to make is to get a flat surface so it doesn't roll away. It's a little hard on the first one because it's still round. But what I want you to do is put the root side in your claw hand. And this is the stem side. We're going to make that first slice with the stem. So point that knife down. Okay. And just slice right down to get the top off. Not bad, not bad. Flat side down. Oops, starting to lose some skin. Don't worry, I have my trash can right here. So the next cut, get your claw out right above that root. And we're going to get right through the middle of it. Tip your knife down and rock the boat. Give it some pressure. Good. All right. So now this is when we can peel. Ooh, we can peel the onion. It's a little bit easier. I'm making a little bit of a mess, but don't worry. I have my garbage can right here to get the scraps away. All right. So clean up. Get those papery scraps away. Woo. Again, why it's important to have a clean workspace. All right, I'm going to put the other half to the side because I want my tidy workspace. Ooh, where'd my knife go? Oops, right there. All right, so the root end still stays by your claw. And this is where we can actually start slicing if you want some half moons. So I'm going to do a few of those. Tip side down. I'm going to make 2 slices just to show you. These are delicious for fajitas, tacos, things like that. So I have slices. Okay. Woo. Now my party trick. All right, so this one can feel a little funny. You're going to turn the root away from you. Your goal is you're going to cut about 2/3 of the way up the onion towards the root, but don't cut all the way through. And it's just going to work with the tip of your knife. All right, so get your claw out, and you're going to point the tip about 2/3 of the way up and rock down. Now, how wide you want it is up to you. I'm going to go about a 1/2 inch because I want some nice big chops. Put them down. Ooh. See, your finger is a guide, or your knuckles are a guide. Finish that. This is the hardest part. All right, here's my tunnel coming. Got my tunnel, watch your thumb. Finish that. Awesome. Now turn that cut side, again, towards you, root towards your claw. And all you're going to do is cut those slices again. Are you ready for this? Woo! Look at those dices falling apart. Now stop when you get to the top of where you had just made those partial cuts. And you have dices. Oh no, what about this one? What about this one? It's okay. Move that to the side. Boom. I have my dices. Look at that pile. Slices, dices. Now to finish, you can turn it on its side again. Do the partial cuts. Partial cuts. Partial cuts. I'm using the tunnel because it's a little bit smaller. Slice it. Slice it. Boom. Awesome. Look at that. Up to you how comfortable you feel using this. Definitely use as much as you can, but you can also put that and make your own broth out of it. We like to reduce waste here. Just use your hands. Put it right in your container. Clean up your workspace. My slices are coming over to the side. Awesome. There's your onion. Few slices as possible. Now, if that was hard for you the first time, don't worry. With time, with practice, it'll get easier and easier. All right, so I'm still working with vegetables, so I don't necessarily have to sanitize my workspace, but I am going to clean it off so I don't get any stray onion on it. I would not cut my fruit on top of my onion juice. That's not going to taste very good. All right, next we're going to do our pepper. So you have your washed pepper. Your biggest thing with the pepper is the seeds get everywhere and we no longer have a tidy workspace. So with your pepper, I'm going to show you my trick for keeping those seeds from making a mess. All right, so the stem side is going to go towards your cutting hand. You got your good claw grip and a strong grip on your knife. Now here, you want to cut to just about the base of that stem. So point side down, rock it, woo! Take the top off, and look, all those seeds are bundled in the middle. So I'm going to put my top to the side. I'm going to reach into the center of my pepper over my trash can, and I'm just going to throw them away. There are a few strays, so you might need to reach in there and pull them out. Keep the mess away. Ta-da! Clean pepper and a flat workspace. All right, so this one, you're going to cut it in half again. Get that claw, slice it right down. I'm going to put half to the side and only work with half at a time, nice and tidy. Now with my onion, I actually cut from the inside to the outside because the skin on the outside can be a little bit hard to cut through. So this isn't the flattest of things. You can kind of smush it down. It feels funny, but you're going to cook it anyways. Flatten it down, get your claw out. I'm going to make slices, and it's up to you how wide you want your slices to be. The biggest thing is you want them all to be the same width. I cut about half of that section, put it to the side, keep my slices bundled together, turn them to the side, and then you can slice or dice here. I'm just going to cut them in half so I have shorter slices, but you can always dice them up as well. Again, I have my container to the side, ready to go. My slices can get put away. My workspace is tidy. And then I'm just going to finish this pepper, again, nice and flat with my claw, fingers tucked under, moving backwards, slice, slice. Take that bundle of peppers, turn them to the side, claw, slice. I'm done. Voila! I know I have a second half of my pepper, but we'll get there. That was super fast and easy. Now for this guy, don't throw him away. One more party trick. This is a bonus. Pop it off the stem. Done. And these guys are great for dipping. Dip right in your mouth. I like to cut up all the vegetables I'm going to use in my meals once during the week. Less mess, less dishes, less tears from those onions. My onions and peppers are ready to go in tacos, soups. Maybe chop them up nice and fine and put them in my greens. They're ready to go. They can be cooked now or stored in the refrigerator for several days. Watch out, these peppers can start to get a little mushy faster than the onions, so keep an eye on them. Don't let them go bad. Remember, wash your hands regularly, keep a clean and tidy workspace, and practice knife safety. Stay tuned for more videos on quick kitchen tips, meal planning, and fun in the kitchen.
For more information and recipes, visit lowcountryfoodbank.org/nutrition. And to learn where our food pantries and feeding partners are, visit lowcountryfoodbank.org and click Find Help.